March 8, 2014. A normal night at a normal airport, with travelers heading toward ordinary destinations. Some were returning home, some were chasing new opportunities. Others were simply beginning another chapter of life. None of them knew they were about to become part of aviation's greatest mystery. Imagine boarding a plane, fastening your seatbelt, sending one last message to your family, "See you soon," and then vanishing without a trace. No distress call, no emergency signal, no wreckage, just silence. This is the story of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370. The plane the world still cannot find. Kuala Lumpur International Airport was alive with quiet energy. Large screens flickered with departures. Luggage wheels echoed across polished floors. At gate C1 stood a powerful machine, a Boeing 777, trusted by airlines worldwide for its safety record. On board were 239 people from 14 countries, students, engineers, families, children, strangers, connected by a single flight. The captain, Zahari Ahmad Shah, was among Malaysia Airlines' most experienced pilots. Calm, methodical, highly respected. There was nothing unusual about this flight. No warning signs, no reason for concern. At 12:41 a.m., the aircraft lifted smoothly into the night sky. Within seconds, became just another moving light among the stars. No one imagined it would soon disappear. At 35,000 feet, the world below fades into darkness. Inside the cabin, the atmosphere was peaceful. Seatbelt signs switched off. Flight attendants moved quietly through the aisle. Many passengers were already asleep. Others watched movies, unaware they were part of history in the making. Up front, the cockpit glowed softly with instrument lights. Everything was routine, every system normal. Then came a simple instruction from air traffic control. Tacked Vietnamese controllers as the plane left Malaysian airspace. The co-pilot responded calmly, "Good night, Malaysian 370. Those 5 words would echo across the world for years, because moments later, the aircraft disappeared from civilian radar. Radar screens are designed to track everything in the sky. Planes don't just vanish. Yet, MH370 did exactly that. Controllers assumed it was a minor technical glitch, perhaps a transponder failure, but minutes passed, then more. Still, nothing. Attempts to reach the aircraft were met with silence. Meanwhile, passengers slept peacefully above the clouds, completely unaware something was terribly wrong. Military radar soon uncovered a chilling detail. After losing contact, the plane had turned around. Not gradually, not accidentally. It made a controlled, deliberate change in direction. Someone was flying that aircraft. Instead of heading north toward Beijing, MH370 crossed back over Malaysia and continued toward open ocean. Investigators immediately realized this was no ordinary aviation incident. For nearly 7 hours, the aircraft kept flying, a ghost in the sky. How? With its radar transponders off, it was invisible. The answer, it turned out, came from space. Satellite had been quietly exchanging tiny, automated signals with the plane, simple, electronic handshakes. Each signal was like a whisper across the void, saying, "I am still here." But the data from these whispers revealed something haunting. The plane wasn't lost at random. It was heading towards one of the most remote regions on Earth, the southern Indian Ocean, a place so vast, finding anything there is like searching for a single needle in an endless desert of water. Morning arrived in Beijing. Families gathered at the arrivals hall, but MH370 never landed. Delay notices appeared. Confusion turned into concern. Concern turned into fear. Across newsrooms worldwide, a single question emerged. How does a modern aircraft simply disappear? Within hours, the story dominated global headlines, yet investigators still had no answers. Soon, dozens of nations joined the effort. Ships scanned thousands of miles. Aircraft searched from above. Satellites analyzed enormous stretches of ocean. Hope was strong in the beginning. Many believed survivors might still be waiting. But days became weeks, and the ocean remained silent. No debris, no signals, nothing. It was as if the aircraft had been erased from existence. Then, a breakthrough. Experts analyzing satellite data were able to calculate two possible flight corridors for the missing plane. One stretched far to the north, over land and sea. The other, to the south. After painstaking analysis, they focused on the southern route. This pointed to a deeply unsettling conclusion. The plane likely flew for hours until its fuel tanks ran dry before descending into the vast, empty ocean, alone and in total darkness. The search had a new, terrifying focus. The investigation quickly turned its focus to the man in the cockpit, Captain Zahari. Friends and colleagues described him as a brilliant and deeply passionate aviator. But as the mystery deepened, investigators left no stone unturned, examining every single detail of his life. They looked into his habits, his state of mind, and even the flight simulator he kept at home. It was there that some analysts found something unsettling, routes saved on his simulator that seemed to mirror the plane's suspected final path. Was this just a chilling coincidence, or a sign of something far more deliberate? To this day, no definitive evidence has ever proven it was an intentional act. It remains pure speculation. In a quiet room inside Captain Zahari's home, investigators found a sophisticated, custom-built flight simulator. Okay, now, for a seasoned pilot, this isn't unusual. It's for training, practice, and staying sharp. But when forensic experts recovered deleted data files from the simulator's hard drive, they found something chilling. Okay, among thousands of simulated flight paths, one stood out. It was a route that stretched far south, deep into the remote Indian Ocean. This was eerily similar to the final suspected flight path of MH370. Coincidence? Or a clue? Experts are still divided. The simulation isn't proof of intent, and this mystery has no simple answers. Imagine an aircraft cruising through the night with no communication, no awareness from the world below, just engines humming across endless sky. Some experts believe everyone on board may have become incapacitated early in the flight, leaving the plane to continue on autopilot. A silent aircraft that's flying until fuel exhaustion. It's a ghost crossing the atmosphere. For the families, the hardest part isn't just the loss, but the endless not knowing. They live in a state of suspended grief, clinging to a thread of hope against all odds. It's a story that left the world in disbelief, and a mystery we're all waiting to solve. Weeks turned into months. Search zones expanded again and again. Costs climbed into hundreds of millions of dollars. Still, the ocean revealed nothing. Nature had created the perfect hiding place. Deep trenches, powerful currents, endless storms. Some secrets are not easily returned. More than a year after MH370 vanished, a breakthrough finally arrived. On a remote island in the Indian Ocean, a piece of an aircraft wing washed ashore. Investigators rushed to the scene, and soon it was confirmed to belong to the missing plane. This was the proof everyone had been waiting for. The plane had ended its journey in the ocean, but instead of solving the mystery, this discovery only deepened it. Why was there so little debris? Where was the main wreckage? The questions just kept multiplying. Oceanographers describe parts of the southern Indian Ocean as among the least explored regions on the planet. Waves tower like buildings. Storms appear without warning below the surface. The seafloor drops miles into darkness. If MH370 rests there, it may remain hidden for generations. Over the years, countless explanations have emerged. Was it an intentional diversion? A hijacking? Maybe a catastrophic mechanical failure? Or a sudden, rapid decompression? Each theory seems to answer some questions, but in doing so, it just creates new ones. And perhaps that's what makes this mystery so captivating. It's not just about what we know, but the vast, haunting expanse of what we don't. The truth remains just out of reach. Modern aviation is built on precision and tracking. Yet, MH370 exposed a chilling truth, even in the age of satellites. Our world is still vast enough for something enormous to disappear. Since the incident, tracking technology has improved dramatically, because aviation promised the world, never again. Search efforts officially paused after years without success, but hope has not vanished. New technology emerges. Private companies remain interested, and many experts believe finding the wreckage is not impossible, only difficult, right? Very difficult. Somewhere beneath miles of cold water, Flight MH370 rests. 239 lives, 239 stories, frozen in time. And perhaps the most unsettling thought of all is not how the plane disappeared, but that, despite all human advancement, we still don't know exactly where it is. The ocean keeps its secrets well, and until those secrets surface, MH370 will remain aviation's greatest unsolved mystery.